This morning, lawmakers returned to Washington for an unprecedented lame duck period. President Trump refusing to concede. Instead, he's reportedly considering holding campaign-style rallies centered around his unproven claims of voter fraud. The federal agency that must certify Biden as the winner to allow his team access to taxpayer money during the transition released a statement about the election, saying an ascertainment has not yet been made. Some top Republicans insist the election is not over.
I believe President Trump still has a path to victory, and that path is to count every single legal vote that was cast, but also not to cast any votes that were fraudulently cast or illegally cast, and we have a legal process to determine what's legal and what isn't.
If Republicans don't challenge and change the U.S. election system, there'll never be another Republican president elected again. President Trump should not concede.
Some of the president's supporters are standing by his unfounded claims of fraud.
So you look in Pennsylvania, dead people voted in Pennsylvania. So, George, I don't know how widespread it is. I don't know if it'll change the outcome of the election. But why is everybody so scared just to have a fair election and find out?
A claim that 21,000 deceased people voted in Pennsylvania first spread online last week when the president's lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, shared an article in a far-right publication about the allegations detailed in a lawsuit filed by a legal group. In a recent ruling, the judge in that case, sounding doubtful about the claims, wrote, "We cannot and will not take plaintiff's word for it. In an election where every vote matters, we will not disenfranchise potentially eligible voters based solely upon the allegations of a private foundation." The president's lawyers expect to launch more legal challenges this week in hopes of taking their fight to the Supreme Court. Democrats and Republicans want to see evidence.
If you can't show us, we can't do this. We can't back you blindly without evidence.
It's important for the cause of democracy and freedom that we don't allege fraud and theft and so forth unless there's very clear evidence of that. And at this stage, that evidence hasn't been produced.
It's time for the president's lawyers to present the facts, and then it's time for those facts to speak for themselves.
In the meantime, President-elect Joe Biden is moving full steam ahead. Set to announce his COVID task force today. Biden is expected to name former Surgeon General Vivek Murthy, who was fired by Trump, and former FDA Commissioner David Kessler to lead the group, and will call for doubling the number of COVID testing sites, investing in at-home testing, and encouraging governors to mandate masks. The president-elect over the weekend calling on the country to unite.
Let's give each other a chance. It's time to put away the harsh rhetoric, lower the temperature, see each other again, listen to each other again. And to make progress, we have to stop treating our opponents as our enemies. They are not our enemies. They are Americans. They're Americans.
Sources say Biden is also discussing reversing some Trump policies with executive orders, including rejoining the Paris Climate Accords and the World Health Organization. As for Trump, other sources believe he will eventually concede, but right now he's focused on recounting votes.